Have you ever felt like life is pulling you in too many directions, leaving you overwhelmed and stressed? What if there was a way to stay calm, no matter what life throws at you? Imagine living with resilience, where challenges don't break you, but instead make you stronger. What if you could face daily chaos with an unshakable sense of peace? Today, we're exploring the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. These are habits and practices developed by ancient philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, yet they hold the power to transform our lives today. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or being unfeeling. It's about finding strength, clarity, and calm in the face of life's uncertainties. Let's start with the first habit. Start your day with intention. When you wake up, take a moment before diving into your phone or the demands of the day. Reflect on this question: what is truly important today? This simple practice comes from Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who ruled one of the largest empires in history. Despite his immense responsibilities, he began his mornings with quiet reflection. In his personal journal, Meditations, Marcus wrote about preparing his mind for the challenges ahead. He reminded himself to expect difficult people, unexpected events, and the chaos of life. But instead of dreading these challenges, he saw them as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, kindness, and wisdom. You can do the same. Try this. Before your day begins, sit for a few minutes in silence. Visualize the tasks ahead and imagine yourself handling them calmly and confidently. This small habit can create a ripple effect, making your entire day more intentional and focused. Now, let's move to the second habit. Practice the power of perspective. How often do we let small problems ruin our mood? A traffic jam, a rude comment, or a missed deadline can feel like the end of the world. But Stoics teach us to zoom out and see the bigger picture. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, a year? Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, often reminded his students to distinguish between what they can control and what they cannot. For example, you can't control someone else's behavior, but you can control your reaction. By shifting your focus to what's within your power, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. Let me share a modern example. Imagine you're at work and your boss criticizes your performance. Your initial reaction might be anger or defensiveness, but instead of reacting immediately, pause and ask yourself, is this criticism valid? Can I learn from it? If it's not valid, remind yourself that another person's opinion doesn't define your worth. If it is valid, use it as an opportunity to grow. This shift in perspective isn't easy, but it's powerful. It allows you to face challenges with grace and wisdom. The third habit is equally transformative. Pause before reacting. We live in a fast-paced world where everything demands instant responses, but Stoicism teaches us the value of slowing down. When emotions run high, whether it's anger, frustration, or fear, take a moment to breathe. This pause gives you time to choose your response rather than reacting impulsively. Seneca, a Roman philosopher and statesman, wrote extensively about managing emotions. He believed that most of our suffering comes not from external events, but from how we interpret and react to them. For instance, if someone insults you, their words don't have power unless you allow them to. By pausing, you take back control. Try this. The next time you feel a surge of emotion, count to 5 before responding. Use those seconds to ask yourself, what's the best way to handle this? This small habit can prevent misunderstandings, arguments, and regrets. Another habit that can transform your mindset is end your day with gratitude. In today's world, it's easy to focus on what's wrong, the things we didn't accomplish, the mistakes we made, or the challenges we faced. But gratitude shifts our focus to what's good. At the end of the day, Take a few minutes to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. It could be a kind word from a friend, a moment of laughter, or even a good cup of coffee. This practice isn't just about feeling good. Research shows that gratitude rewires your brain, making you more optimistic and resilient. The Stoics understood this long before science proved it. They believed that happiness comes not from external circumstances, but from appreciating what you already have. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you don't have. Rather, think of the blessings you do possess and how much you would miss them if they were not there." Now let's dive deeper into how these habits can build resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks and keep going despite challenges. The Stoics believed that adversity is not something to fear, but something to embrace. Why? Because it strengthens us. Epictetus often compared life to a wrestling match. He said, "What would you prefer? To be an Olympic champion or a weakling? To be victorious in the games or to be defeated?" Challenges, he argued, are like opponents in a match. They test our strength, but they also make us stronger. Think about a time in your life when you faced a difficult situation. Maybe it was losing a job, ending a relationship, or dealing with a health issue. At the time, it may have felt overwhelming, but looking back, you probably see how that experience taught you valuable lessons or made you more resilient. The Stoics encourage us to adopt this mindset in the moment. Instead of seeing obstacles as problems, see them as opportunities. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Let me give you an example. Imagine you're training for a marathon, and halfway through you injure your foot. You could see this as a setback and give up, or you could see it as an opportunity to focus on other aspects of your training, like upper body strength or mental resilience. The obstacle becomes part of your growth. Another way to build resilience is through a Stoic practice called negative visualization. This might sound strange, but it's incredibly effective. Here's how it works. Spend a few minutes imagining worst-case scenarios. For example, think about losing a loved one, failing at a project, or facing a major setback. The goal isn't to dwell on these fears, but to prepare yourself mentally. Seneca wrote, "Rehearse worst-case scenarios so that you may never be caught off guard." By confronting these fears in your mind, you reduce their power over you. You also develop gratitude for the present moment. This doesn't mean you should become pessimistic or anxious. On the contrary, negative visualization helps you appreciate what you have and face the future with courage. As we continue, think about how these habits can bring calm into your daily life. Calm doesn't mean avoiding challenges or escaping reality. It means approaching life with a steady and focused mind. The Stoics often used nature as a metaphor for calm. They compared the mind to a still lake. When the surface is calm, you can see clearly. But when it's disturbed by waves, your vision becomes blurry. By practicing these habits, starting your day with intention, gaining perspective, pausing before reacting, and ending with gratitude, you can keep your mind calm and clear, no matter what storms come your way. In the next part, we'll explore how to apply these principles to relationships, work, and decision-making. We'll also look at stories of famous Stoics who embodied these habits in their own lives. Stay with me as we dive deeper into the art of building resilience and calm through Stoic wisdom. Now that we've introduced the foundational Stoic habits, let's take them even further. These practices can transform not just your inner world, but also how you interact with others, how you approach your work, and how you make decisions in life. Stoicism isn't just about personal calm. It's about thriving in a complex, interconnected world. Let's begin with relationships. How often do conflicts arise because we react impulsively or let our emotions get the best of us? Stoicism teaches us that relationships thrive when we focus on what we can control, our own actions, words, and attitudes. One powerful habit is practicing empathy. When someone says or does something hurtful, instead of reacting with anger, pause and ask yourself, what might they be going through? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize?" This doesn't mean excusing bad behavior. It means understanding that everyone is fighting their own battles. When you approach others with empathy, you create space for better communication and stronger connections. Here's a practical example. Imagine a friend cancels plans at the last minute. Your first reaction might be frustration or disappointment, but instead of jumping to conclusions, remind yourself that their actions might have nothing to do with you. Maybe they're dealing with stress or unexpected responsibilities. By shifting your perspective, you prevent unnecessary conflict and maintain harmony. Another important relationship habit is learning to let go of control. We often try to change others, whether it's a partner, a friend, or a colleague. But Stoicism reminds us that we can't control other people's choices or behaviors. Instead of wasting energy on what's outside your control, focus on being the best version of yourself. Lead by example and let others make their own decisions. Now let's talk about applying Stoic habits in the workplace. Work can be a major source of stress, but it's also an opportunity to practice resilience and calm. One key habit is to focus on effort rather than outcomes. Epictetus often reminded his students that while we can control our actions, we can't control the results. For example, if you're working on an important project, give it your full effort. Plan carefully, work diligently, and do your best. But don't tie your happiness or self-worth to the outcome. Whether the project succeeds or fails, you've done what you can. This mindset frees you from anxiety and helps you stay motivated. Another workplace habit is practicing gratitude for challenges. This might sound counterintuitive, but challenges are what help us grow. Marcus Aurelius believed that obstacles are essential for development. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." So, the next time you face a tough situation at work, whether it's a difficult boss, a tight deadline, or a major setback, see it as an opportunity to build resilience. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I become stronger because of this? Decision-making is another area where Stoic habits can have a profound impact. Life is full of choices, big and small, and sometimes the pressure to make the right decision can feel overwhelming. The Stoics believed that good decisions come from clarity and calm, not fear or haste. One useful habit is applying the dichotomy of control. Whenever you're faced with a decision, break it down into two categories: what you can control and what you can't. Focus your energy on what's within your power and let go of the rest. For example, imagine you're deciding whether to apply for a new job. You can't control whether you'll get hired, but you can control how well you prepare your application, how much research you do, and how you present yourself in interviews. By focusing on these factors, you reduce stress and make the process more manageable. Another decision-making tool is to consider your values. The Stoics believed that the ultimate goal of life is to live virtuously. Virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline should guide your choices. When faced with a dilemma, ask yourself, does this align with my values? Does this decision reflect the person I want to be? Let's bring these ideas to life with a story from Stoic history. During his time as a Roman statesman, Seneca faced many challenges, including political intrigue and personal betrayal. Yet, he remained committed to his principles. One famous example is when Seneca was accused of conspiring against Emperor Nero. Despite the accusation, Seneca chose to face his fate with dignity rather than compromise his integrity. This story reminds us that living according to our values may not always be easy, but it brings a sense of inner peace that no external success can provide. Now let's explore the Stoic habit of preparing for the unexpected. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how much we plan, there will always be surprises. The Stoics understood this and developed practices to help them stay grounded in the face of uncertainty. One such practice is amor fati, which means love of fate. Instead of resisting what happens, embrace it as part of your journey. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." This mindset can be applied to any situation. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, making you late for an important meeting. Instead of getting frustrated, see it as an opportunity to practice patience or listen to an inspiring podcast. By accepting the situation, you reclaim your power and turn a setback into a moment of growth. Another way to prepare for the unexpected is through the habit of negative visualization, which we touched on earlier. By imagining worst-case scenarios, you can build mental resilience and reduce fear. For example, think about a fear that's been holding you back. Maybe it's the fear of failure, rejection, or loss. Spend a few minutes visualizing that fear in detail. How would you cope if it happened? What steps would you take to move forward? This exercise helps you realize that even the worst outcomes are manageable. Finally, let's revisit the concept of gratitude and expand on it. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good practice. It's a powerful tool for shifting your mindset. The Stoics believed that true wealth comes not from acquiring more, but from appreciating what you already have. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This quote reminds us that contentment doesn't depend on external circumstances. It's a choice we make every day. Try this. Keep a gratitude journal and write down 3 things you're thankful for each night. Over time, you'll notice a shift in how you see the world. Instead of focusing on what's lacking, you'll begin to see abundance everywhere. As we near the end of this section, let's reflect on the ultimate goal of Stoic habits, to cultivate inner peace and resilience in a chaotic world. The chaos won't go away, but your ability to navigate it will transform. Remember, you have the power to start small. You don't need to adopt every habit at once. Begin with one, whether it's starting your day with intention, pausing before reacting, or ending your day with gratitude. These small changes can lead to profound results over time. In the next section, we'll dive into specific exercises, modern applications, and practical steps to integrate these habits into your daily routine. We'll also explore how Stoicism can help us find meaning and purpose in life. Stay tuned. Now, it's time to dive deeper into practical steps, modern applications, and exercises that you can start using today to transform your mindset and daily life. Let's begin with a powerful Stoic exercise called journaling for reflection. Journaling is not just for writers or philosophers. It's a tool for anyone who wants to gain clarity, track progress, and understand their emotions better. Marcus Aurelius used his journal as a space to reflect on his thoughts, remind himself of Stoic principles, and prepare for the day ahead. Here's how you can start. Each morning or evening, set aside 5 to 10 minutes to write in a notebook or on your device. You can ask yourself questions like, what went well today, and why? What challenges did I face, and how did I respond? What Stoic principle can I apply to improve tomorrow? For example, if you found yourself reacting angrily to a colleague's comment, you could reflect on how pausing before responding might have led to a better outcome. Over time, this habit helps you become more self-aware and intentional in your actions. Another modern application of Stoicism is mindful minimalism. In a world filled with distractions and materialism, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. The Stoics believed that true contentment comes not from having more, but from needing less. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Try this. Take a look at your surroundings, your home, your workspace, or even your digital life. Are there things you're holding on to that don't add value to your life? Start small. Declutter one drawer, one shelf, or one folder on your computer. The goal isn't to own nothing, but to remove what distracts you from what's essential. This habit isn't just about physical possessions, it's also about mental clutter. Ask yourself, are there thoughts, fears, or worries that I need to let go of? By practicing minimalism in both your environment and your mind, you create space for focus, gratitude, and peace. Let's move on to another key habit, using your setbacks as stepping stones. Stoicism teaches us that adversity is a natural part of life. What matters is how we respond to it. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, view them as opportunities to learn and grow. One way to practice this is by asking empowering questions during tough times. For example, what can I learn from this situation? How can I use this experience to become stronger? What virtue, like patience or courage, can I practice right now? Take the story of Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. After his laboratory burned down, destroying years of work, Edison reportedly said, "I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. This disaster gave me the opportunity to start over again." His resilience and perspective embody the Stoic mindset. Next, let's explore the habit of cultivating inner stillness. In a noisy, fast-paced world, finding moments of stillness can feel impossible. But Stoicism teaches us that peace doesn't come from external circumstances, it comes from within. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to retreat into his mind whenever he needed calm. Here's a practical exercise. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Inhale slowly for 4 counts, hold your breath for 4 counts, and exhale for 4 counts. As you do this, let your thoughts settle like leaves floating to the bottom of a lake. Even just 5 minutes of stillness each day can help you reset your mind, reduce stress, and approach challenges with greater clarity. Another Stoic habit that's incredibly relevant today is embracing discomfort. We live in a world that prioritizes convenience and avoids discomfort at all costs, but the Stoics believed that true growth comes from stepping outside your comfort zone. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Try this. Identify one area of your life where you've been avoiding discomfort. Maybe it's having a tough conversation, starting a new project, or committing to a healthier lifestyle. Take one small step toward facing that discomfort. For example, if you want to improve your fitness but hate exercising, start with just 5 minutes a day. The key is to embrace the challenge as a chance to build mental and physical strength. Over time, you'll realize that the things you once feared aren't as intimidating as they seemed. Now, let's revisit the concept of negative visualization. This practice isn't about being pessimistic. It's about mentally preparing yourself for life's uncertainties so you can face them with resilience. Here's a step-by-step way to incorporate this habit into your routine. Choose a specific aspect of your life, like your job, health, or relationships. Imagine a realistic worst-case scenario, for example, losing your job or facing a health issue. Ask yourself, how would I handle this? What steps would I take to rebuild? By confronting these fears in your mind, you build emotional strength and reduce anxiety. When challenges arise, you'll feel more prepared to handle them. Finally, let's talk about the ultimate goal of Stoic habits: living a life of purpose. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from living in alignment with your values and contributing to something greater than yourself. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to act for the common good, not just for personal gain. Take a moment to reflect. What gives your life meaning? Maybe it's your family, your work, your faith, or your desire to make the world a better place. Whatever it is, use it as your guiding star. When you face decisions or challenges, ask yourself, does this align with my purpose? To wrap up, let's recap the Stoic habits we've explored. Start your day with intention. Practice perspective by focusing on what you can control. Pause before reacting. End your day with gratitude. Journal for reflection. Embrace minimalism to reduce physical and mental clutter. See setbacks as opportunities for growth. Cultivate inner stillness. Embrace discomfort to build resilience. Use negative visualization to prepare for life's uncertainties. By incorporating these habits into your daily routine, you'll not only build resilience and calm, but also live a more meaningful and fulfilled life. Remember, Stoicism isn't about achieving perfection. It's about progress, one small step at a time. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the wisdom of Stoicism. Take what resonates with you, practice it consistently, and watch as your mindset and life transform for the better.